myself a Jew, regularly practicing. No, I don't practice Shabbat. I don't keep kosher. I don't regularly go to synagogue, but I do go to Jewish family events. And the one holiday that I celebrate every year is Yom Kippur. There you go.
So there's a whole bunch of things that just happened there. So this is like a radio show to expose goyim and let them be goyim, and you enjoy the goyim, and you, I don't know, but
well, for those of you that if I may, for those of you that don't know, goyim is a Yiddish term considered by many to be derogatory, and it refers to people that are not Jewish. Please continue.
But so I came to the same understanding recently after I left this Jesus Christ cult that Yahuwah is the only true deity, and this nonsense about Gadriel and Christ and all that is just is taking you away from your relationship with Yahuwah. And I find it very interesting, this whole process that you're doing and exposing these individuals and letting him have a chance to speak. I find it very interesting and very, you're pulling yourself out of yourself, and just it's a thought experiment.
Well, it's quite interesting the take you have on the show. I've never quite heard that before, but it has some validity to it. In the process of encouraging anybody and everybody on Clubhouse to come up and speak and talk about whatever they want in a respectful manner. I guess you could glean from that I'm exposing people, but really that's really a minor part of the show. The major part of the show is, as I've said many times before, to offer up a platform where people can come up and talk about anything that they want, and then hopefully, in a critical thinking manner, we can respectfully talk both sides of the issue. This show has never been an echo chamber. I don't care if you agree with me, if you don't, if you like me, if you don't. As I say, just have a take and don't suck. And what that means is be somewhat, what's the word I want? Just be respectful, be able to put your words together, and have a reasonable dialogue. That's what the show is all about. And if in the process I expose people being full of shit, well, good for me. But hopefully they're not. And
with that, good job, Uncle Steve.
Oh, thank you, Cora. I appreciate it.
You did a very good job just now. So.
Corey, you're very kind. Thank you very much. And with that, we've got 2 hours in the tank. I'm going to step out of the captain's chair, and the XO, Reverend Scott, my co-captain, is going to take over for the first half of hour number 3, and then I'll be back for the last half and to close the show with hour number 3. Thank you all for joining another edition of Ask the Atheist with Reverend Scott and the Mod Squad. If you're in the audience, we encourage everybody, especially the new speakers, to come on up. It looks like next up will be Big Zed, so Reverend Scott, take note. And don't go away, everybody, and we'll be right back after the break.
Welcome to Sessions at AOL. Busted flat and baked roof, waiting for a trade, and I was feeling.
Jesus, what's with all this copyrighted fucking music?
No.
Yes, he said this. Yes, King artist. King said this. King said it. King had a different argument. He had a totally different argument what you presented. He said Nathan said this, and because he said this, there's no way possible. All I have to do is show one possibility that how can it be a strong man? That was his argument.
No, you're not trying.
Yo, this is some extra.
Yeah, you're not trying.
Come on, guys.
When
Stop letting me get my money, bro.
Yeah, so I want to make sure this is clear. So you're not tracking either. So what he was doing
No,
was
I'm
clearing.
tracking. I'm tracking,
Well,
brother.
well, let me just point this out. So what he was doing was pointing out the order of events on the day that it actually happened on what he perceived being it. That's not actually addressing the straw man claim. So when he said that, no, wait, Nathan structured the bet this way, or the bet is structured this way, we could just kill all that by saying the bet is this. All right, cool. Then we'll move forward. Then you tap in the actual prompts. He got the ChatGPT prompt. You got it. Knowledge got it. Sight got it. And when you guys see it, you guys say, oh my gosh, let's go ahead and just bring a whole bunch of people cosplaying as being another gender and put them on stage and then do the whole little thing that you did and then give a whole bunch of people the airtime, right? So that's why I kind of laughed and just felt bad because you guys had it already. You guys already had the smoking gun in your possession, but you
Wait,
allowed
Samoa, you saying they brought the Andrew crew in here?
Yeah, bro. They danced a whole bunch of people. And this is the crazy
that
part.
defines what they crew is this group coming in here, helping them
hold
out?
on. So real quick, then you got Bob, and the thing that kind of like made me kind of look at Nathan a little weird is that you kind of held these guys at this high regard, right? Like these guys are real intellectuals, and I started laughing because I said these guys are mud ducks, right? But Bob came out, and that was the first person that he questioned, and Bob was like, "Oh, this is a straw man." And then they moved it again and said that my position was 100% nurture, right? And I started laughing because then when Incan started talking, they said, I never said Samoa said 100% nurture. But you guys keep dying on every single hill. I mean, it's fun, bro, but when you start to believe the delusion, like that's even a bigger problem.
Absolutely, Nate.
I had to change my vote
Sounds
after
like
hearing that.
you're never gonna get your $50, bro.
Hey, Eric, did you get the document or no?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
I know.
I mean, the 70-30 poll, man, it's pretty definitive. I think you should pay it.
Nigga went and asked for the document.
Yeah, bro.
That was crazy.
He didn't know King had it, right?
Nick, you're allowed to claim losses in your taxes.
Y'all got some more fucking up. That's crazy.
Don't you gotta be a citizen to claim
I
that?
believe they asked, they mentioned.
No, even if you're not a citizen, you still pay your taxes, even if you're not a citizen.
No, let me ask Kyle that, right?
Can I speak? Can I speak?
No.
Yes.
Let me say this.
Go ahead, man.
No, I just want to say this. Look, Samoa clearly lost. Everyone here agreed he lost. The only person who said he won was ChatGPT. And ChatGPT, the way he formatted it, there was nothing like what actually happened. And that's the problem. Once you start offloading, you start letting the dang AI think for you. And once you start letting the AI think for you, they'll let you believe that square circle exists. That's unfortunate, bro. You gotta take your L like a man. At the end of the day, when me and you had the debate, and you said that's because of a question, and a straw man is you taking your argument and attacking a weak person of your argument and defeating that argument. That didn't happen. I asked you a question, and you say that the question was loaded, so therefore, hey, listen,
No.
I'm the reason why I'm running back trying to defend myself. I know I'm
Because you know you
defending
lost.
myself. 1 second, bro. 1 second. I'm going to tell you something. I ain't interrupt. And that's when you know you lose. When you want to interrupt. At the end of the day, bro, it was flat out. You lost. Be a man. Pay up. I remember Knowledge made a bet when my homeboy had got. And Knowledge didn't even know the game was started. The fight already ended. And God took that boy $50, but he paid it. He just not trying to be all technical. Well, I don't know. You made a bet. There was a clear winner. The winner was me. You're the only one. You and a handful of people are the only one saying that you won. Make my money, bro.
Look, even they, So let me just point this out clearly, bro. Can a consistent become a straw man? Right? The answer is absolutely yes. Can a question be absolutely the question? The answer is yes. And the way that is does your question address the argument on the table? And it doesn't, bro. It never did. you knew you lost.
Yo, so let me ask you.
Hold on.
So, no. Wait. Let me say this. He doing this, wait, one sec. He doing the same thing again. He is arguing possibilities. Is it possible that I could have made it a strong man? We're not arguing if it's possible. We're arguing if that I actually. Everyone spoke to you, bro. They said that no, he did not. But you're saying no, it's possible. Yes, the possibility is right here. If this happened and this happened, then it could be a strong man. Nah, bro.
Yeah, I never said that, bro. Yeah, I never said that.
You just said it just now.
No, so I
You just said that just now.
No, hold on. So I
Is it
responded.
possible that a question?
No.
Is it possible that a question could be a strong man?
Yeah,
Yeah,
hold
you
on.
just said that.
Hold on. So I just responded to the statement that you just made when you said all I did was ask a question, as if a question cannot be a straw man.
And why is that important?
Wait, is that what you said?
No. Why is that important?
Because by you saying all I did was ask a
George
question,
Dinehart.
it brings the question.
George
can a question
Dinehart,
be a
Pig
straw man?
versus
If
Canada,
it is-
Congressman today.
Okay.
Pay my money, bro.
I think you did look for that. Let's get back to the citizens of the petition. Have a good Sunday, Peg.
I want to ask you some more, like, is it really that serious, right? I feel your pain, because this happened to me. I was arguing with a guy, it was when Brad was in here. We were talking about Middle and like Iran and Palestine. Iran and Israel.
Missile get here from one place.
Yeah. What was that nigga name? Birdie? What's that name? I don't know. Yeah, you lost.
George Dinehart.
Everybody in this room is more gaslit me, bro. And I had to prove. I did the math. I done went to the motherfucking site to the
Slaves.
I
Says
made
that.
facts the
George
people manufactured
Dinehart.
missiles to
And
get the
then
time
said-
ranges, bro. And I provided all the proof, but these niggas gaslit the fuck out of me. But you know, I still paid the nigga, even though to this day I don't think I was
Get from
wrong.
the Navy.
I still
No, you lost that one.
$50. I still paid him $50 though.
That's
All right,
lie. Eric cannot take.
I did pay him his money on my mama. I did. You can actually
all right, so why did you pick
Dinehart got to the Navy.
the majority of the room,
Oh,
they were saying, so I was like, I'm arguing with an asshole. I'm arguing with an asshole and say that, that I'm not going to decided to pay him.
All right. So then you just basically acquiesced to the mob. All right. So there was a statement that was made, and we had this like vote him off the island thing, right? And this was like the funny stuff, and I think we could all kind of get some fun out of the back and forth. And it was, you don't even have to pay the $50. Just acknowledge that you made a mistake. Can't do it, bro. Right? Because there's not a mistake that's being made. So if they said, hey, you don't have to pay the $50, Eric, all you have to do is say that you made a mistake. Would you do it? Eric.
My bad, I was looking at something. Say that again.
Smalley, you never really lose debates, so they have to remember that one time you lost.
Yeah, I got you, bro. So here goes the question. A person says, you don't have to pay me the $50. Just acknowledge that you made a mistake. And we could all move forward. What would you do?
I wouldn't have did that. Yeah, I wouldn't have admit that I was wrong because I wasn't. But I paid the money like I did.
Dinehart is gaslit.
Right, so you're saying that you would
Captain of the
never
Navy. Hey,
acknowledge
sure,
that you're
you're
wrong,
the
but you would pay the
captain
$50
of the Navy.
just so you can be more comfortable by acknowledging that you're wrong. Okay, that made a lot of sense.
No, it's not that I acknowledge that I'm wrong. It's like they're appease the mob, right? They're accusing you of being wrong, even though you're not wrong. It's based on the evidence. Because when I'm wrong and I know I'm wrong, I'll admit that I'm wrong. I've done that multiple times. Like when I argue with Mike. No, Eric. Reality doesn't care about your feelings, bro. But feel like you're right. I understand that. I'm saying, but if I know beyond a reasonable doubt, that objectively, I'm right. I'm not going to believe that I'm wrong, right? Just because you're saying I'm wrong. I'll pay you the money, right? If the mob is demanding, saying I lost, I'll pay you the money, right? Just to shut you up. But at the end of the day, I'm not wrong. And that's what I did with the situation with the African. That's what I'm saying, bro. You could be, that's what I'm saying. You could be right inside your heart, bro. But just accept the fact that you lost. Listen, you lost. Look, what I mean by that is this. You lost the game. Hey, you were playing the game, you did everything right. But hey, you just lost. And that's what always happened, bro. You were playing right, you sound like you're right, but still, the game is over.
That makes a lot of sense.
Everyone decided it.
That makes a lot of sense. But Nathan, when you say everyone decided that, is that pleading to the population? Like basically,
That's what it is.
It's the majority.
What I mean by that is this.
pleading to the majority.
Wait, let me know. What I mean by that is this. When Samoa started saying, hey, this is what happened, and this is what happened, they said that, no, that's
Oh,
not
because
strong
he
man.
opened it up to the majority.
Yeah, how could it not be a strong man when this happened and this happened? They said that still isn't a strong man. Listen,
Okay,
everyone
that's
he
the moment when you
said
ask the
it wasn't
question,
a
opened it to the majority.
everyone he talked to, they said, hey, it wasn't a strong man. The only people who agreed with him was people who were trying to troll me. King was trying to troll me. Demon trying to troll me.
So is it a valid?
Okay, hold on, real quick,
bro. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, so this is how like cool this stuff is, right? Nathan doesn't realize that there's actually 3 lines of argument that was being made. One was versus him, that was easy money. Another one started to grow its antlers with Mike because Mike needed the term consenting age to be involved in the actual original argument for it to be not a straw man. Then you had this little nigga Incan jump in here, and he had his own little thread. So I entertained all 3 of them. And said, nigga, I'll beat all you guys up. Like, it's just easy money. So I have the ability of tracking the actual argument. These niggas don't. So when I'm talking to Mike and he's screaming and he's saying whatever he's saying, Nathan thinks I'm talking to him. And when I'm talking to Nathan, Incan thinks I'm talking to him. So then they get all emotional and laugh. So I'm like, how can you guys not compartmentalize these types of arguments if that's what you guys claim to be? Extras should be able to identify exactly what's being said. So you don't even know there was 3 different arguments, and that sucks, right? So it says, hey,
What about when you start explaining it to Sasha? And Sasha said, no, Samoa, you're wrong. It's not a strong man. No, Samoa, you're wrong. What about that time?
Yeah, the reason why Sasha lost is because Sasha kept on. Why not? Aren't you in a society?
You won.
No, hold on. Sasha kept on making assumptions. The assumption was, well, doesn't every society have an attraction to a minor? That was exactly what was being used as, look at this person's making an assumption. You're trying to misrepresent my argument.
You lost, brother. You lost.
Have a good Sunday, Big Time.
I don't expect you to be able to track it, and that's fine, bro. That's fine. Like, everybody can just have fun.
You can talk about me, right? You can try to make it seem like I don't understand. I get that. That's cool. But we already did this already. When we actually had other people that come in and they analyze your chat GPT response, and when we all put in the chat GPT and you were just going verbatim what chat GPT was saying, and this is the same thing. That offloading stuff don't work, bro, because it requires you to be able to think. If you don't know what a strong man is, and you're just reading off of chat GPT, and chat GPT is trying to say what I don't even know what chat GPT was doing. But anyways, when you were just reading off, you didn't sound like you know what you were talking about. And it's still bad. It's still bad. It's still bad that you had people. You even had knowledge explain it to you how it wasn't a strong man, bro. You even had Mike try to explain it to you. Everyone, when you went at it and you argued against Sasha. Sasha said, "No, Samoa, it's not a strong man. It's not a strong man."
All right, so let me ask you one question. Why would all 3 of them have a different reason why it's not a strong man? For example, Knowledge says.
Your question is a strong man.
So real quick. So Knowledge. Yeah, hold on, bro. Hold on. So Knowledge said it would be a strong man.
Get down.
Oh shit. AK, hurry up, AK. Weird ass nigga. Alright, so Knowledge's explanation was it would be a strong man, but because Nathan didn't intend to, intentionality is a requisite for it to be a strong man. Nobody else agrees with that, but that's his position and that's fine. Mike's position was it's not a straw man because of the fact that you opened the door by saying something about a consenting age, which garnered the question about a potential attraction to a minor. And then Sasha was saying, oh, why can't you have this? Why can't you have that? Why can't you have this? This should be open for inquiry. Yeah, but not open for assumption. So you oversimplified the actual response, but just think about it. If anybody Googles it right now, you can easily debunk what Knowledge is saying. Does a straw man have to be intentional?
Dude,
Right?
this is why
I mean,
like my
let me just finish this last bit.
No,
That's
you're good,
one
my
of the
man.
things, maybe.
So Incan and this is when Nathan fell back. Incan and Psych, they thought that they had a +1, so they were right. They were cheering, they were congratulatory. They were like, oh yeah, in order for it to be a straw man, you have to intend to it and grit and the richness of the act. It was total gas, bro. It was all gas. We found out as soon as King put the prompt in, you don't have to intend or have intention for it to be a straw man. So then Psych goes back and he runs his prompts. He goes, oh yeah, my bad. Okay, cool. So that kills knowledge's argument, right? Because Mike fact checked it and Mike realized that you don't have to intend, or you don't have to be intentional in a straw man for it to be a straw man. So look, I'll just tell you, I can take every single one of the bricks away from the wall, and now you're just sitting there looking dumb.
Captain.
But we could just move
Yeah,
on.
see,
Except
I
for the
don't know what
Queens
you're
Navy,
trying to say.
George Steinhardt.
Bro, you have like this other argument that's inside your head. That's not actual. That's not reality. I asked you a question, and you accused me of straw man, and you.
Captain of the
Just because
Queens
I
Navy,
asked.
George Steinhardt versus candidate Congressman John Kitover.
Yeah, y'all killed the
One second,
wrong.
one second.
Y'all killed the wrong rehaction. But y'all killed it.
Samoa's
Some more left.
Yeah, some more left.
Yo, Nathan, I got you here. I got something I gotta say to you.
Oh shit.
Yo.
Man,
from
y'all killed
Bahamas,
the
right?
wrong.
Sometimes you gotta get some
Yeah.
You from the Bahamas, right, Nathan?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you know the Bahamas is not considered part of the Caribbean?
Oh
Is
shit.
it a part of America?
No, it's not. It's technically not a Caribbean country. It's part of the Lucayan archipelago. It's technically not associated with the Caribbean. So y'all are not a Caribbean. Y'all are not a Caribbean nation.
It's
I
in
learned
the
that
Bro,
yesterday.
and we have the Queen on our way, bro. That isn't true.
No. The countries that are considered part of the Caribbean are part of the Caribbean geographical basin. Y'all are in a different archipelago, so y'all are not in the Caribbean basin. It's a geographic formation. Those countries are
That's
technically
right.
Caribbean.
George
Y'all
Steinhardt,
are
Captain of the
Caribbean
Navy,
wannabes, so
Angry. That's
I
right.
How do we get part of the Lucayan archipelago, bro?
No, that's wrong. That's wrong.
that's true. They're not a Caribbean country.
No, I know what you're saying. You would be right, but when people say Caribbean, they need to read it culturally,
That's
right?
white people.
Yeah.
Well, the Caribbean, a real Caribbean,
That's
a Caribbean.
That's like saying islands in the Lesser Antilles are friends.
They're not.
That's why.
If you're being pedantic at that point, you're saying like if we measure it with a ruler, it's off by 3 inches. But the people are like roughly the same people.
3 inches matters, all right. I'm trying this experience.
Back it up.
Yo, Mike.
No, but I mostly
Yo, Mike, are you there?
was just sharing that because I didn't even know if you guys were kind of
What about Bermuda?
When me and Samoa had that debate, what we debating on is it possible that a question could be a straw man, or what we debating on is Nathan actually a straw man? Yeah, this dude is now arguing that, oh yeah, you could argue, but I give you some instance when a question could be a straw man. And he's literally arguing that right now.
No, that's not what I just said, bro.
Literally, you just started arguing about you and Mike and all this other stuff. But my whole point was to show that you're a question could be a strong man. If you lay off this shit,
Bro, this
you
nigga.
distort. If you do this, and if you do
Bro,
this,
this nigga
that's how
Nathan
you
is
question
strong,
could
bro.
be a strong man.
Alright, so real quick. Just so that everybody's here, bro. And we all heard you. When you gave your first submission, you said 3 times, all I did was ask a question. As if a question can't be a straw man. And I just corrected that from the statement you made today.
No, I was saying that because you believe that what I was doing was distorting and doing all this other crazy stuff. So I was telling you that I wasn't doing that. I asked you a question. You accused me of straw manning you, and I was like, no, I was asking you a question. Asking a question.
Mike.
And now you're arguing now, can a question be a straw man?
No.
This
Mike.
is the fantasy against reality,
Captain
bro.
of the
You
Navy,
see right now,
Did
if
you
I
hear
say,
his
hey,
comment
George
right now?
Steinhardt.
what I just said to Mike when I say, Mike, say, hey, you straw man me, my response to Mike would be, no, I just asked the question. And now you're saying that, oh, it's a possible question, can't be an argument, stuff, blah, 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 blah.
All right, so let's ask Mike.
You can't do that.
All right, so you heard Nathan. You heard what he said.
Okay.
When he says, all I did was ask a question, what is he implying?
He's implying that a question is harmless and doesn't have the nefarious intent that we can all perceive.
What did he say? Even Orion said it. That's crazy. All right, so Nathan just offered the submission because I was responding to what he said today. So did you hear what Nathan just said? I don't want to try to rephrase anything. I just want to see if you heard what he just said.
Sorry, repeat that again. My family's in my ear.
No, I know exactly what that is. So Nathan just made a statement. I was wondering, did you hear what he just said?
Attacked former Congressman John
I understand
Kitover.
what happened, so I don't need to hear what people say.
All right. You mean from the past or from today?
Not from today, from the past.
All right. So you need to hear it from today because he's kind of doing this right. So today he made a comment to the stage. He said Samoa said that it was a straw man, and then in his submission he says, all I did was ask a question. What is he implying there?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, guide me through it.
Projection.
Yeah, I mean, Orion just said it. That's why.
What did he say?
Go ahead, Orion.
Well, he's implying that because he engaged in the action of asking the question, there's no nefarious intent, simply because all he did was ask a question. But in reality, what he's doing is creating this fucked up scaffolding to make an argument against something that we all know is true.
I don't even know how you
It's just a rhetorical trick. It's just rhetorical.
I'm not following anything anyone's saying, so.
Oh shit. My bad, maybe I'm
No.
All right, what about this one? Samoa said that I strawman him. I didn't strawman him. I just asked him. What is that statement?
Implying that the question that he asked you wasn't a straw man.
That he just asked me a question, right? That
Yeah,
it's not a
he's
straw man.
he's saying the question I asked you wasn't a straw man. So that basically puts it all together.
Yes, I'm not interpreting that, right? Because it's not. No, the question is.
Here's why I say
I just asked him a question.
Yeah, in general. Okay, so what he's saying, he's responding to this. Someone said a straw man. Mine is all coming from Nathan, sounds right. Okay, so Samoa's saying that I straw man him, and all I did is ask him a question. So what he's saying is, Samoa's referring to the question I asked was a straw man. I didn't straw man him. I just asked him a question. So that's not assuming a motivation of being nefarious or anything like that. He's just saying Samoa's making this claim, and the claim is false because all I did was X. That's what I'm getting at.
But Mike, the problem is that's like saying someone said I killed him, and all I did was punch him in the face. And it's like when you punched him, he slipped and fell and hit his head, and then he died.
No, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait. You're begging the question. The reason why is because the act of killing somebody is taking someone's life. We're trying to see if the person was in fact killed.
This is not a perfect analogy, and so I hear exactly. Mike, you're right. I'll say that you're right. This is not a perfect analogy, but the point that Nathan is erroneously trying to, make is that because I asked a question, I cannot have been doing this. And it's like I could have tried to kill him by punching him. That's but he said all I did was ask a question. I asked him a question. What's wrong with that? A to B, the shit you're saying, is all I did was ask.
But let me restate it to where I think that it was mentioned in the way that you're interpreting Mike. Nathan's response was, Samoa said that I strawman. The question I asked him was not a straw man. It was a question, a legitimate question, right? Like you can imply this is a legitimate question at that point. But when you just say, Samoa said that I straw man, all I did was ask him a question.
Yeah, so I see what you're saying. So you're saying like the implication of a question being a straw man is not possible. That's what you're based off of that statement, right? I think somebody actually said that. It might have even been me, right?
Queens, maybe George
I
Steinhardt
do
was
remember
kind of
that being
Congressman
brought up.
John
I don't know who
Kitover.
brought it up, but somebody did say something like that, where a question couldn't be a straw man. And I guess if the question was, I think I need to look into this. If the question's rhetorical, right? So then what you're saying is, right? And that could make it a straw man. So there was a distinction made between those two things. Do you remember that? Am I tripping?
No, you're right. That shit happened, but that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I could come up and be like, God damn, I didn't know your mom was an ugly ass bitch. And it's like, bro, I wasn't saying she's an ugly ass bitch. I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? You could come up with some
No, it's more like you're like,
yeah, it's like you can
like,
force yourself like the claim that you're making.
so like you're like, no, the shooter was a leftist. So what you're saying is that all leftists are shooters? That would be the strong
you can throw some shit out there, yeah.
It's like, when did you stop beating your wife?
No, that's just
No, that's a loaded question.
that's a loaded
Yeah, that's it. All right, so Mike, what I was saying to Nathan was there was three different lines of arguments that were being made to for it to be an actual straw man. That your line and I was different from his line and I. When you were trying to get in the whole within society, there's like this consenting age, right? Like you needed that for it to not be a straw man because it opens up a line of inquiry. And he wanted to omit that from the actual argument. Do you remember that whole back and forth?
I remember yeah, it's like that's
Right, and I was just trying to let him know that when I'm talking to Mike, I wasn't talking to him. So when he's taking certain points that I'm making to you, addressing or remedying, the argument with you, it's not addressed to him. And then there was another thread with Incan, and then Incan started doing whatever he was doing, like spazzing out and shit. And I'm just letting Nathan know that sometimes these arguments have to be organized so that you understand exactly what you're responding to. So the straw man in your case would be different from the straw man in Nathan's case. And then when knowledge, because you just brought up knowledge, when knowledge says, hey, it would be a straw man, but unfortunately you're the one who said he didn't intend to do it. Now he's hinging on the fact that a straw man needs to be intentional, but we already flushed that one out too. So I'm just removing. Right, like who the fuck cares? Like we're just recapping. Whatever.
But you lost, brother. You lost. I know you're trying to recap, but you lost. When you laid out your argument with Sasha, with everyone, they said no Samoa. What Nathan did was not a strong man. They said that. I don't know why you feel it's that way. Every example that you give is demonstrating how it wasn't a strong man. Now Samoa, just pay up my money. I know it hurts to be the one that can't lose, but you just got served, homeboy. Just like the movie you got served when you thought that everything was gonna be good and your homeboys gonna be them. I was that homeboy. Now pay up. Now you gotta go to the dope boy. Now you gotta sell a little weed, bro. Now you gotta make that money up.
This is more like South Park, you got served.
Oh, this nigga is funny, bro. That's just crazy, man. No, but the reason why I did, bro, is because you had like a lot of like weird people, and it seemed like it was really affecting them, like emotionally. Like in my back channel, I was talking about like holding stage hostage, shit like that, right? And I was like, oh, I ain't trying to fuck up your, you know what I'm saying? Like you guys' platform, it's a good platform, bro. So, you know, hold on real quick.
You could have just paid, bro.
So I'll let you know this, bro. But I'll let you know when you win, right? Like if you got me, you got me. It's nothing to pay the debt. I've already paid debts already that I've already lost. So I'm not saying you're lost, right? But you can't try to take cheap wins. I'm never know because it doesn't do you any good. It just
I didn't take a cheap win. I didn't take it.
Yeah, you're trying to right now.
No. This is
I know you feel that way, brother. But
this is a clear L, bro.
Yeah, okay.
Clear L.
Okay. But you got the document though, right?
Bro, I got the memory. What happened with you and Sasha? I got the recording.
Nigga, you got a recording?
No, I don't.
That's wild. That's wild.
I'll tell you what. Cause you like, if I had a recorder, bro, I would have played that. But I'm gonna say, I got the memory. I got the memory, bro. With you and Sasha.
Hope to see you soon.
Sasha said no. Nathan doesn't make strong man fallacy. I'm like that
I
good.
don't know if you have any questions, but I'll see you
Nathan, what
soon.
did Bob say?
I said no. He didn't. He made the strong man
So,
fallacy.
so Bob's pretty smart, right?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Remember what Bob said about Bart?
Hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who did Bob say was right? Me or Bart?
He said both of y'all was right.
No, he
because
did
of the
not.
word.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did. He
No.
said if Bart framed it that way, then yes.
And Bart didn't frame it that way.
Bro, I swear, that's how I heard it, bro. When
No, that's how you
I heard, I was
understood
like,
it.
oh, yeah.
That's how you
And I
understood
had
it.
to
And I'll tell you why. And I
When
can
does it happen?
prove to you why. The night
Good morning,
before,
Heather.
we were talking.
By the way,
how
I'm
about
going
when
out
you
with the
tried
left calendar.
to
I'm trying to
explain
step up
Bart's
there with the other
perspective,
cigs, and we
and
could
Bart
already
disagreed with you
indicate
mid-sentence. Remember that?
Thanks again for all the hard work. The moment, the most
Yeah,
I can
I don't
afford to
remember
pay
what's going
you.
on.
It was because you were
His
explaining his
50
perspective.
signatures are 65 a day, 300 max.
Bart has it backwards. That's the thing. All I'm
Whereas
saying is
for
that, like,
additional
when Bart
funding,
first explained
I don't know if you
himself,
have any question, concerns,
he said that sounds ridiculous. And then it got down to the, okay, well, in order to do that, you have to preface this first. And that wasn't done. Now, he could say, this is what I meant, but then I'm going to hold that, the way I understand it, is like a relative position, not so much like a broad or a simple explanation as to something. And because what, yeah, anyway. Well, hey, so Nathan, why is Lucky down there? He's pretending like he's not alive.
Lucky nobody did, man. We're trying to school with realism. Making pseudo-realism rules and pretending to be mods. That's how they finish out their name.
But wasn't Toxic there with him? Let me ask you this, Nathan. I want to know your perspective. Toxic, according to Lucky, claimed that he was like an OG of chillism. That's not true. That's not true. Okay, let me ask you this. The name chillism, was it chillism before the name?
What do you mean, chillism before the name?
Like you.
Morning, Heather. By the way, I'm going to look at the Radford calendar.
Yeah. Yeah, and we made it.
I want to understand this through your lens. Okay, because I was here when it was Toxic, Taylor's, Jose,
Yeah, that was his house. The
and
Toxic
that's what
Jose.
brought all of us together initially. Remember when I got at that guy James is tired?
Yep.
And then Toxic, remember when he started doing the AI thing where the AI would like interact with people or something like that, or the robot or some shit? And then he went back to Discord, right?
No, Toxic didn't come from Discord.
No, he went like, I shouldn't say he went back, but he went to another place. I thought it was Discord. And then when that happened,
he went to Facebook.
whatever. He went, so you're right. I think it was actually Facebook. Then at that point, because I remember you guys were my morning like routine. It was like Discord was like PPR or something like that. At one point.
PNR, politics, religion, and race.
Yeah, it was in a transitional phase where
PNR.
PNR. And then after that, it became chillism. Toxic was already gone. Now, Toxic, to me, this is
since we had white belts, it was always chillism. It was like chillism 2009, 2020. It was like chillism and then a year. Chillism, and all the rooms were
Wait. Okay, so then this is my understanding of it. So you're saying that when it was PR&R, there was a room chillism?
No, there wasn't.
No.
Okay,
No.
Okay, now.
No, Mike, what I'm saying is this.
Hold on, real quick. When the room chillism was made, right? Toxic was already gone, right?
Correct.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Toxic was here when we was doing
No,
chillism.
bro, I promise you, he was gone, dude.
I show you the old mix recording because I recorded every one we made.
That's fine.
When we started it.
Let's show the oldest recorded chillism, the room.
Yeah. It's gonna start with chillism. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I don't think Toxic was there because I remember when this whole thing, because remember it got down to like 4 people. It was like you, Yab Rasul, Knowledge, and fuck, I want to say me, dog. Like, I just remember waking up in the morning Dark Dawkins started fading out, and then we were talking. Remember when I was like, dude, Nathan, why are you after that fucking white guy, blah, blah, blah? And you're like, when he comes, it's the Dark Dawkins show. Remember all that stuff? Remember that phase? Remember, and Toxic wasn't there. My point is this, is that I believe, from my understanding, Toxic is your oldest friend. So, like, there's no challenge there. I think Barth is too. But I'm saying the origin of the room, Chillism, as far as my experience, had no part or contribution in development.
So Mike, when we first stayed in the room, it was on May 20th, right?
What year?
In the first 2023. Yeah, and the first Chillism room was May 25th. There were two other ones. It was What is Evidence, Anti-Bully, Atheist BBJ, and then Chillism.
Okay, wait. And then what? So when you say and then Chillism, is that when the room started?
Oh, that's the name we had, Chillism.
Yeah, you made the name. I remember you thinking of the name.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm saying when the room Chillism was made, you say you have a recording. Was Toxic in there?
Yeah, Toxic was in the room from the conception.
Can you? I don't remember that.
I'll tell you.
All right. And Knowledge, what do you think? Oh, I already know. So I'm just gonna kind of.
Yeah, I'm just seeing the old recordings.
You just check right now?
Yeah, I just checked 3 of the old recordings. I don't see him.
He's not in there. Bro, my son's
Did you look at it?
Go ahead, Nathan.
Old one. The old white belts are us.
No, I'm not talking about white belts.
Change the name.
I'm talking about Chillism.
Yeah, he was a part of white belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Chillism wasn't a room name, though. We
That's
never had a
the
room
point.
named Chillism.
That's the point. When
Yeah,
we started using the name Chillism, that
At
specific
the
name,
moment, the most
he wasn't
for the
he wasn't
pay
there.
is 50 signatures or 65 a
And
day
on
or
this app,
300
everybody
maximum.
knows this space as Chillism. If I go into another room, I'm the guy from Chillism, not the guy from White Belts. Chillism became the standard name. It's the fucking trademark. And all I'm saying, exclusive to that terminology, which encompasses all of us that come together, right? Even we don't talk about white belts, we talk about Chillism. We are Chillism, right? When Io tried to copy you, he copied Chillism, right? When other people try to copy the rooms, they copied Chillism.
Kennedy John wants to dramatically cut NBA funding to 400 billion years. Stop.
I just messed up. What are you saying now? What was this claim?
That and Lucky's down there, that he was like an OG founder of Chillism, I believe. That's what
Donald
and
I wasn't a founder of Chillism.
He
He
was
came
not.
into the room. When I made the room and everything like that, he came.
Nah, he hardly was there, bro. You know why? Because if it wasn't about him at that time, he wasn't about it.
Yeah,
He
it's
likes to be
nice.
famous.
First thing I heard Captain
Now,
Navy is angry.
Like, I think his return, his resurrection came back with this idea that, he just has to concede that he's just not the guy. You guys are the guy. You guys are the people. You guys built something. So when I hear that, I'm kind of like, oh, hey, I would even say, way more than here. That's what Bart did that.
You know what happened?
What's happening?
I'm gonna tell you what happened. So look, when we first, it started with me and Knowledge, right? We had a room with the sheriff and the gentleman. That was the first one. And all of us. And then after that, years out. I don't remember exactly, but before COVID. That was like after COVID.
Okay, so all this is like 2020.
We made the room. Right before we made the house, White Belts and Russ. And the rooms were like anti-bullying. But then, like 3 days after the house was named, we got our first Chillism room. It was named like it was White Belts and Russ, and the room we got it was
ATR, I was wrong. That's one of the first rolls. Went out on August 2023.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, so yeah, he was there. And because sometimes he would start something, and I got another one too.
Oh shit, okay, those are the real. Look at Charles, you got Bart's OG fucking G.I. Joe thing.
Look at this one.
Damn, bro, I come back, bro.
Older than Mike.
this is the old version of Clubhouse.
Alright, well then maybe I guess he would. I mean, he's there, but I guess yeah. And I can't say that it. So. I don't remember that motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
You know what happened? Let me tell you what happened. After Timothy got into it, and he blocked Timothy from the house.
Okay.
And then after he blocked Timothy from the house, we made a new house. There's no way we could unblock him from the house. So this was the old house, and then we made the new house, which is this house right now, the White Belts and Rust. And then he left. He did for a while because we didn't make an amendment. And then after he did,
I see.
and then recently he came back.
Look at Boris, bro. Oh shit. That's fucking funny.
So that's what happened. So after he takes Timothy, and he left. Yo, knowledge was having that fucking.
Was having a what?
You had hair back then, bro.
Oh.
You see me though, Eric?
He said what?
You see me though?
Yeah. We lost.
Yeah. I'll box you up, nigga. Fuck with your boy. I'll knock you up. You know what's crazy, Mike?
People are losing their jobs because they're laughing and mocking Charlie. That can be inciting more violence, right? So like,
Let's take the private gap.
well, and I'm gonna say this, that
Those are private companies. Taking care of employees from their.
so you think like Fox News, MSNBC, those are private companies? Is that what you think?
I'm sorry. Are you saying that they're government-run institutions?
Do you think that there's nobody in the government that you don't think that anyone in the government is a stockholder?
No, not necessarily.
No.
George Steinhardt versus Congressman John Kitover.
Like, what are you saying?
What do you mean?
Like, the federal government doesn't own ABC.
I didn't say that they owned. I didn't say anything about owning. I said people. No, that's not what I said. I said that they have stockholders. They have people that invest in those companies, and they have to keep their investors happy, right? Otherwise,
That's a private company's decision. I'm saying, if you have the federal government stepping in, saying somebody should be fired because they don't like what they're saying, that is a problem.
Okay, so then like Twitter was then was not. No, Twitter. We thought that was owned by Jack, and nope.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel, both things are true because there were two companies, North Star, I forget the names, and they said they weren't going to show Kimmel's show in their areas, and I think it was, I forget the exact percentage, but I think it was like 60% of the country was going to be blacked out on his show anyway. Plus, his ratings had a very big fall. So that's the free market at work, and people are saying it's free speech. But here's the thing. If it was just that, and that was the only reason that he was taken off the air, that's great. And I'm all for it. I don't like him, and that's the free market at work. He's not doing well. But the problem is...
Yeah, we got 60 seconds of Tanya inside of me. All right, here you go. Here's your 60 seconds of Tanya. Pick a number 1 through 50. Anybody? Any number 1 through 50? Hello? Is this thing on? Can you hear me? I can hear you now. Okay, number 18 it is. Here we go. Number 18.
Oh, okay, John's on.
Number 18 is called The Nature of Wisdom. This is by the Alter Rebbe. So take the deepest breath of the day.
Wow, what a really good numbers. Go ahead, John. Take it away.
For this thing is very near to you. What is this thing that is very near? For some, it may be self-emptying. For others, it may be rational love. But these still require a level of effort and practice that may not be available to everyone. The it that is near must be near to all. And this it is wisdom. For wisdom rests within all things, as it is written, God founded the earth in wisdom, and in wisdom you have made them all. Further, wisdom fills all life, as it is written, wisdom gives life to those who possess it. Wisdom is the capacity to intuit the essence of all things, the faculty by which you glimpse the true nature of what is. And what is God. And wisdom reveals the presence of God, even to the most foolish and ignorant. As it is written, I am foolish and ignorant. I am as a beast before you, and I am constantly with you. No matter how foolish or ignorant you are, even if you act in a manner that denies your humanity, still God is with you. And the wisdom to know God and act godly is never lost to you. The promise of the Tanya is that anyone on Clubhouse can awaken to God as the source and substance of all reality, and so doing turn from evil and do good. This promise is rooted in the idea that all people are innately capable of intuiting the unity of God manifest as the multiplicity of creation. This capability is called Chokmah, wisdom. Chokmah is the first of the three mothers, the three faculties, along with rational understanding and integrative knowledge that compose your intellect cycle. Chokmah is not reserved for the righteous, but is given freely to all, even the foolish and inhumane on Clubhouse. The challenge is not to earn wisdom, but to access the wisdom already inside of you.
Can we just tell her when he's finished? I can't be bothered listening to this guy.
He was doing 60 seconds of Tanya, he's done.
Oh, you don't like books, wisdom, Torah, Tanya?
Straight to how many other platforms. This is why I blocked you, John.
Oh, for real, you're a moderator. Feel free to block me or kick me. You can't stop me. All you can do is listen to me. Some people like to speak and talk all the time.
I don't even know how that works. Does anybody know?
I mean, it's been running like this forever, decades, and Abby needs to get in here.
That's so funny.
And John is back. John is back.
Johnny's back, babe! You can't stop me.
How are you today?
Oh, fabulous day, fabulous day. How's everybody doing today? There's some lovely Jewish women, some strong Jewish men in this room. Zionist.
And one was.
Can we change the title?
Absolutely. I'm looking for a trigger.
All right, I'm gonna change it. Give me a second. I'll change.
Okay, good. And one Muslim that gets attacked by the fake Muslims in Amir's room. Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. Because he's against Hamas. So they feel the need to attack him. They believe that Israel has the right to exist. That's so puzzling. Because he wants to stand on the right side of humanity. He's considered a fake Muslim to them. Wow. I heard it.
To be fair, I'm not on either side. I'm just neutral, but I was attacked for being.
She's a proud Zionist. This guy Seneca loves the Jewish people, loves the Muslim brothers. But it's fair to say you love everybody, you know?
I love
you
everybody.
love all humans?
Yes, all humans.
Okay, so what's the problem with that? Stand proud, stand strong, brother. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I do love the Zionists. There's nothing wrong with that. I also love the Muslims too.
There's nothing wrong with that. You're allowed to, but they want you to hate, which is sad.
Yes, they want me to hate them because I would not hate.
Good title.
Did you get an opportunity to speak to somebody?
you doing, Angel? How you doing, Grace?
Doing good. I'm traveling right now.
Nice. How you doing, Grace?
McGee.
We just came home from Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday.
Yeah, that's what we did this morning.
Freaky Friday.
Freakier Friday.
The king of the Persian people is here. All hail the king. All hail the king.
You just got home, bro.
I just got home. It's Freaky Friday. That's what we did.
All hail the king. Welcome, king.
John, I think I remember.
You remember? And
Hey,
you
don't
think?
know Grace is a party animal.
You think and remember? Wow. Wow.
Your eyes yellow and nobody really cares about your, I don't know, bro.
I gotta be more like
Yeah, I
you,
know
Grace.
who you are.
Party, party, party. That's what we do. We live in the woods, no people around
Party with
us, so
another
we get out and we
woman,
party.
Yeah, I'm definitely, from the woods too. I think what I call a party is a bonfire somewhere in the back of the woods.
That's what we do here. That's we have big bonfires. Very good big bonfires. Stop.
Which could mean two things.
Okay, I'm going to read a response from the Israeli Foreign Minister today to a statement from the United Kingdom and other countries regarding the recognition of a Palestinian state. Israel categorically rejects the one-sided declaration of the recognition of a Palestinian state made by the who's chewing. Sorry.
massive strip
Oh, sorry.
Tuesday.
Okay, thanks. Israel categorically rejects the one-sided declaration of the recognition of a Palestinian state made by the United Kingdom and some other countries. This declaration does not promote peace, but on the contrary, further destabilizes the region and undermines the chances of achieving a peaceful solution in the future. Called by Hamas leaders, the fruits of October 7 massacre, the declaration not only rewards the biggest massacre of Jews since the Holocaust by a terror organization that is calling and acting for the annihilation of Israel, but also solidifies the support of that Hamas enjoys. It is destructive to separate statehood, one of the final status issues, from peace. This move goes against all logic of negotiation and reaching a compromise between the two sides, and it will push the desired peace farther away. Moreover, the Palestinian Authority did not meet any of its requirements and obligations. It did not stop neither the incitement nor the pay-for-slay policy, nor did it take the required measures to combat terrorism, as demonstrated recently with the discovery of rockets and missiles near Ramallah last week. The Palestinian Authority is part of the problem and not part of the solution. This is also the reason why the United States imposed sanctions on the Palestinian Authority and prevented its senior officials from entering its territory. In any case, Israel will not accept any detached and imaginary text that attempts to force it to accept indefensible borders. Political gestures aimed at domestic voting audience only harm the Middle East and are not helpful. Instead, if the countries that signed this declaration truly wish to stabilize the region, they should focus on pressuring Hamas to release the hostages and to disarm immediately. That's basically what the statement says. Netanyahu has also said as well that a Palestinian state will not be formed west of the River Jordan. And that's an important statement as well. He also said as well that he's leaving for the United Nations General Assembly meeting in the States. He also said before he left that he has fought against this establishment of a Palestinian state in Judea and Samaria, and a governmental decision and response to this unilateral declaration of a Palestinian state will result in some hard-reaching declarations by the Israeli government, which he will detail upon his return from the UN General Assembly. It is thought in Israel, by the way, that Israel could now annex up to 87 to 88% of Judea and Samaria, and therefore basically declaring that that is Israeli territory. By the way, it is Israeli territory. I've talked about this before. There is a clause in international law that is called uti possidetis juris that has been applied to multiple countries after the war. It was applied to the breakdown of the Russian, the USSR when Ukraine became Ukraine, etc., etc. It's been applied in Africa multiple times as well to different countries. Basically, what this law says is that if any country has a mandate hold over territory, then a country is declared independence, or the country is given independence on that territory, and the other side has been offered territory but they refuse it, then the country that has taken the territory and established a state has right to rule over the land that was originally owned by a mandated country. In other words, Judea and Samaria, etc., etc., under this law, international law, which is again possidetis juris, would mean that Judea and Samaria is Israel, as is Gaza, by the way. But we'll wait and see what happens. And I'm of the firm opinion that this is going to happen after the UN General Assembly. Israel will make a declaration of annexation.
What do y'all think of that?
It's the appropriate response. I thought that these unilateral declarations were conditional upon, like, Hamas releasing the hostages and the PA reforming there. 5 steps that they would never do. So have they forgotten that, or?
Well, Yaakov, they're playing into the population's politics as well, right?
Yeah, I know that.
Labour in the UK is playing into the hands of the party. Not the party.
Hard work and heavy lifting will be your success. It will always be rewarded by me, and never forgotten.
The hard left, and the pro-Palestinians in the UK are denying it ever happened, saying the majority of UK voters do not agree with this. They think it's just absolutely dumb. And I'm sure that Macron is going to come out later and do the same. He's also going to recognise this, along with Australia, Canada, and the United Kingdom. It's absolutely insanity how he recognises a state with no internationally recognised borders.
Thanks again for all your hard work. Hopefully it will offer greater rewards for you in the campaign. It's a small chance we defeat them.
I know in Canada too yesterday, the Prime Minister recognized Palestine as a state, but we also have teachers in schools recognizing students as cats, and you have males identifying as females. That doesn't mean that it's true.
Like a couple months ago, when the Prime Minister of Canada said that statement, it was of course couched in this language of, well, Hamas is hostages.
Exactly.
They cannot take part in the government afterwards. Like all that bull, So then he just went back on all that shit.
Yeah. He's a politician.
Let me just read this. Actually, I've just pulled it up as well. Uti possidetis juris is an international legal principle stated in the independent state, which I said inherits the internal administrative boundaries of its preceding colonial or dependent territory, thereby preserving territorial integrity and preventing conflict. In principle, this principle, which originated in Roman law, applies to the time of independence, effectively freezing the existing borders to promote stability and avoid the internal struggles and challenging frontiers that could arise from redrawing them after decolonization. The principle ensures that uniform states maintain a clear territorial definition from the outset. So this should have been applied in Israel. At the establishment of the state, especially after Israel agreed to the land that was given to them, that was actually chopped up after the Peel Commission also. It was reduced in size because Pan-Arabism was pressuring these agreements to give the Jews less land. Israel then agreed to it. David Ben Gurion agreed to it. The Israeli government agreed to it at the time of independence. The Arabs, not the Palestinians, the Arabs rejected it, and the War of Independence broke out.
Thought he would have
Have you guys
exclusive
realized
footage to
that,
discredit me.
at
It's
least
always
anybody
the
in the
opposite
UK,
effect when your
other than the
intentions
UK, by
are
the way,
sincere and transparent.
have you realized that Labour, Keir
He
Starmer's
has
done
an
this
audience as a
because
tech-sympathetic and
his
usually
party is
is
failing.
less
They're
angry about
doing
his
this to
idea.
pander to
Like a
votes.
pig
They're
deal.
doing everything that they
Thought
can
he would have
to
exclusive
scrape up
footage
as
to
many
discredit
fucking
me.
votes as they
It's always the
possibly can.
opposite effect when your
And so
intentions
literally
are
why the UK's
sincere
done this.
and
Yeah, but
transparent.
Keir Starmer has shot himself in the
All
foot.
publicity.
You know, he's an idiot. He thought.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Good
He
publicity.
shot himself in the foot because he's trying to placate all the Labour voters are,
Stir the pot.
Muslim or from Pakistani background. That's the reason why he did this. Because they were all
publicity
revolting
at this
and they
point
were
is
saying,
good
if
publicity.
you don't do this, Keir Starmer,
Stir the
we're going to
pot.
withdraw our support for the Labour Party. That's the whole reason why he did it. And he's trying to make it like, oh, this is a very
Activation.
humane thing that we're doing because we want to
All
accept
publicity
like
at this point is good
Palestine
publicity.
and stuff
Stir
like
the
that.
pot.
We want Israel
Audience
to like
activation.
kill over.
Not even an
What
exclusive
what
footage to
influence does
discredit
the
me.
UK
It's
have
always
on
the
Israel?
opposite effect when intentions
Zero.
are sincere and
No, they're nothing.
transparent.
They just do.
All
They do arms
publicity
trades with
is good
Israel. They
publicity.
literally sell
Stir the
arms to
pot.
Israel, which they'll keep
Audience
doing, by the
activation.
way.
Oh yeah, they'll still do that, and then on the front they'll say,
Oh,
oh,
my
you know what?
prayers are with you and your mother.
We're
Mr.
trying to
Nelson.
be
Sorry
as
to hear that. Thanks again for all your hard work.
you
Hopefully,
know,
it will all get greater
representative
rewards for you in
in
the
terms of
campaign.
electorate, but there's
It's a small chance
absolutely
for you
no
to
way
keep
the
your own
British
privilege,
people
still a chance.
and there's no way that they have supported this, you know, in terms of this recognition of Palestine. I'm sorry, it's complete bollocks.
Well, the non-Muslim people.
Yeah, the non-Muslim people in the UK, there's absolutely no way that they're signed up to this. No, they did not.
No, there was a poll that came out. I think it was today or yesterday, where it was overwhelmingly disagree that Palestine should be recognized as a state in the UK. Like, yeah, the British people don't want that. So yeah, it's Keir Starmer who's panicking. I mean, they must go into number 10 Downing for their meetings every single day and just like breathe a sigh of relief that their party hasn't looked worse that day, because this country's falling apart right now, absolutely falling apart, and it's because of them. So they're probably freaking out, and they're just pandering to try to stay in office a little bit longer to get their like fucking evil policies put through.
Yeah, Senator Lindsey Graham has just released a statement also. About half an hour ago, he said 80 years after the end of World War II, where over 6 million Jews were killed by the Nazis for simply being Jewish, the so-called civilized world is rewarding modern day religious Nazis with an arbitrary Palestinian state designation. To those Western leaders who embrace this, I do not believe you're anti-Semitic, just shockingly ignorant and blind to what you're doing. Western democracies recognizing a mythical Palestinian state, one without leaders, without borders, one without a capital, and without accommodations for Israel's security, is truly rewarding the largest slaughter of Jews since World War II. Because of these actions, throughout this terrorist world, October 7 will now be considered Liberation Day. Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, and the Houthis do not wish for two states. They wish to destroy the Jewish people and drive Israel into sea.
It's a small chance even if you think that it's a chance. And the hard work and hard working will be yours.
Didn't Trump just meet with the king and Keir Starmer? Like, what the fuck were they thinking doing that? They had to clearly pass this by Trump for them to do this, what, like 3 days after he was here?
Heather has 700 signatures, so we'll get this model ticket before she goes to Minnesota.
There were some reports that they obviously had disagreement in terms of
Wow.
the UK accepting
The leak me.
Yeah, I don't think Trump was very happy with Keir Starmer. Well, why would he? The guy's an idiot. I'm actually really embarrassed to be British at the moment. It's so embarrassing. This is like ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, like it just makes me want to leave this place faster.
You're not really British, are
So
you?
the transgender shooter. What?
No, he's British.
no, he's Indian.
Well, no, he might not be like English, but he's British.
Right, but what's your ethnicity, Rumar?
Wait a minute, Stephen, what difference does it make? What ethnicity are you?
How many times have I told you I'm half Indian, my dad's from India, and my mother's from Iran?
Right, so guys, what do you think about freeing Sudan?
I have no opinion on Sudan.
Yeah, I know very little about Sudan.
What do you think about the Chicago drill scene, like Chief Keef and Tulsa? With Lieutenant Governor, Chief Keef, and
Someone want to just like kick him because he's not really adding anything to this conversation. We're having a good conversation until you came in this, right?
Chief Keef has the potential to say.
Anyways, all in all, it's a massive error of judgment and just error in general. The UK is going to have this quite heavily, I think. So,
I also think, like, if, like, there's been too much hashtag about Afghanistan. The reason why Islam is so hesitant is because in the past, like, Pakistan Muslims but they don't want this inquiry to come out. It has to come out.
So the transgender
This inquiry has
Yeah.
to be shut up.
of course, well, I mean, they haven't even started the inquiry yet. They're holding off on it.
Just kidding.
People need to understand that in the UK, there were Pakistani Muslims that were grooming Christian girls, like white girls, Jewish girls, Sikh girls, Hindu girls, and that's why they did that. Just because they were not Muslim. So it was fair game. They did this. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, we're on the same page, 100%. It's disgusting, like really disgusting stuff. So I really hope that
Oh, now?
the Labor Party
Too
falls
late.
more into disrepair after this enunciation that they believe that Palestine is a state. Is there even a leader in Palestine? Is there even like an elected leader that can like represent the country for like legal proceedings and stuff?
I think the way that I look at it, I think
Say a prayer for Christian Hallelujah, 700 seconds over 15 minutes.
they're Arabic and they're Muslim, then they need to go back to their own countries. There's no way to be allocated countries. Look at Arab Muslim countries. How many are there?
How many did you say? It's 21.
Was it 21? Oh, yes, 21 Arab Muslim countries, but in total, Muslim countries, there are 50. But they should go like, I don't think it's the racist way, but they need to go back. Go back to your own people. Stop being,
Small chance we can
because
chance
Muslim
on the hard work and heavy lifting. We can your success. It will always will remain. Never forget.
even like, Yasser Arafat was born in Egypt. He was actually Egyptian. Yasser Arafat. Did you know that?
Either you do it the easy way, which is you take care of it on your own, or we're going to have to get involved, which means that they open an investigation and they start looking into Jimmy Kimmel doing blackface. They start looking into all of his comments. It becomes a public mess, and ABC's names gets dragged through the mud, whether they like it or not, which is part of the procedures that any public broadcast is subjected to, left or right, including Fox News. So ABC said, what are we going to do, considering we have all these complaints?
Wait, if you're going to go back to one thing, hold on, Steph.
Wait
a minute. So, Alex, what you just pretty much said was the government just looked into somebody's comedy, their lyric. This is
based on a complaint. Based on a complaint.
Literally. No, it's not like you have one thing if the company does it, right? That's completely a private entity. When company looking into a person's lyrics, that is ignoring the biggest argument against free speech. Like this,
you're ignoring the biggest part
of the entity looking into.
DJ,
hold on, Alan. Let me just come on, Alan, because you started it. I can see everything I just a private company handling their own business. But you just literally told us that the government is getting involved with a man's lyric. He's not screaming fire and crowded thing. He's performing. He has his lyric. He has his speech. He has his comedy. And the government is interfering into this.
No.
Literally,
this is why I know the private, listen to me. Private citizens issued a complaint.
Take that shit back to Armenia where you're from.
DJ,
That's not how we do it.
yes, it's exactly how it works. Private individuals issued a complaint to the FCC, the government body that is in charge of regulating all broadcasters. They made a legal complaint, which everybody, including
what was the complaint? What did he violate that was against the law?
They didn't. What did he violate? He said something that the affiliates, that the people watch those affiliates,
what does it
which
have to do with the
are
government? What was the government?
They're in charge of the airwaves. Which are tasked with
It has the
contributing
opposite
to
effect.
the public good. That's why
I know Lashon Hara doesn't work very well. It has the opposite effect.
making it seem like an unfair process was used.
No, we
That's
need to
the
clear
point.
this up. It
It
has nothing
was
to do with the government.
completely
It didn't have to do with the FCC, Alan.
It is
You're
a
absolutely
tool that applies to
Disney
everyone.
pulled him. Alan, go on mute. Disney pulled him. The FCC did not pull Jimmy Kimmel. This is already a false premise. You guys are arguing over. I just looked at Stop talking. You've been going on. That was DJ saying that. It's not. This is a totally false argument. The FCC didn't even pull him. Disney pulled Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, that's a fair argument. Within the private organization.
Okay.
You guys are arguing about it.
We all
No, I get the point, DJ.
That's what we're saying.
Here's the other point. What Pam Bondi said. It's very clear. You can say anything you want. And here's the other part. Before I leave Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel can still say anything he wants. He hasn't lost his free speech rights. He can't say it on ABC, but he can still go and do a podcast and say whatever he wants. Of course, if he does it on YouTube, he might get removed the way people on the right have been removed on YouTube. So that's that. Number one. Number two, again, using the same weapons that the left has used. What Pam Bondi did is she said, look, you can still say anything you want, but then hate speech or a racially motivated crime, if tied with violence, will be used. So in other words, if a black man and a white man get in a fight, and the white man kills the black, that is a murder. If in the commission of that crime, the white man says, die, you fill in the racial slur, that now becomes a hate crime. That's what she is specifically talking about. And the fact that
Dude, what are you talking about? If a black guy goes ahead and kills a white guy and says, die, you feel racial slur, that's a hate crime. What you just said about the white guy killing a black guy is a hate crime. If you say murder is one thing, and then hate crime is a different thing, different context with another race, that you're comparing apples to oranges. That one makes no sense, right? Two, about the ABC.
Okay, now, hold on. So this is, honestly, this room and today is about Charlie Kirk. This room, I don't give a fuck about Jimmy Kimmel. I could give two fucks. I don't care if he's canceled, not canceled. I don't care.
Thank you for saying
It's
that.
about Charlie Kirk. I don't want to fucking talk about Jimmy Kimmel. Not one more word about it. It's annoying as fuck.
Okay.
Right there.
Can I get in here? Is this the white
Yeah,
guy?
so you're gonna talk about.
Yeah, this is white only. Are you white?
No, I'm not.
Well,
I'm very much so.
Just got censored and just censored the.
I'm very much so culturally African American.
Yeah, you gotta go back to the middle.
Then Ann is right.
Now let her hear
I apologize.
Come on, man.
Because this is everyone trying to mitigate the fact
You go for like 15 minutes, bro. Pass the mic.
everybody's trying to mitigate the fact that the left killed Charlie Kirk.
Exactly.
And they're trying to
Exactly.
assassinate
I don't believe that.
Okay, I have to get in here.
That's it.
So where are we assassinating Charlie Kirk's character? What are we saying against Charlie Kirk that he didn't do?
Let me get in here. I'm sorry.
George
This is my
Steinhardt
theory, right? And I'm sorry,
versus
but I'm socially, as an
Kitover.
African American woman, I'm positioned in a place in this society where I can see the way power moves from my dynamic position because I'm a civil minority, right?
Are you talking about yourself?
No, let me speak. I'm trying to make a
Here it's cool, guys.
Yeah,
No, I know. Why are we doing this? Like,
because I'm trying to preference room. I'm trying to preference.
Let her talk.
I'm trying to preference my opinion.
Does she have her free speech or anything?
No,
I made it very clear what this room was about. It's not about race. It's not about the
I'm trying to speak on the topic. I just got a header.
Matt,
I was just telling you where my opinion was coming from before I stated my opinion. Oh my goodness, exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Chill out.
Nobody else wants to.
So we're obviously leading up to the keynote speakers to, obviously speak, and then we'll, have them come on here. Probably live, we'll see here. But in the meantime, we can talk about freedom of speech. That's fine. But let's just try to keep it a little bit more generic, not specific examples. I mean, other examples outside of this event is fine. But if you want to go there, Harry, you can. But let's just stick to that and let's not get too specific. That's possible.
I was just preferencing where my opinion was coming from. I was just telling y'all who I was and why I see the perspective that I see before I even told y'all.
What's the opinion?
The opinion was that the Jays are pulling a U on y'all, right? We have to be very, yep. The Jays are pulling a U on y'all. They're pulling a U on y'all because, like I said, preference in a way in this country is a part of a faction that kind of sees how power has been moving and how power corrupts institutions, ideologies, and groups of people. And I honestly think that y'all are getting God right now. And this is deeper. You know that deep state kind of shit that y'all be talking about? I think this is more aligned with that, and we are sitting here fighting amongst each other. Instead of
So what's that got to do with you being a black man?
well, because I'm saying that I'm positioned in the country in a particular way where I'm positioned in a particular way where I see the way power moves because I'm not a person of privilege. So I see the way
Living in America.
think I'm privileged to have built America. I'm a foundational American.
Oh my God, you're privileged to be here.
White guy.
I'm privileged to be the granddaughter of a sharecropper.
You have
That's what my privilege is.
You have pretty privilege.
Oh yeah, I do. That's
Thank you. And that is like, that is the most privilege I
That's bestowed by Jesus.
There you go. So pretty privileged.
It definitely is pretty.
I mean, what if you're
Alright, thank you for your submission there, appreciate that.
Is there a queue? Is there a queue, man?
Privilege, you did.
I think y'all can look into that. Honestly, I don't think it's. I honestly am starting to believe it. Have y'all been watching Candace Owens?
Yeah.
Oh, you know it.
That's what she's been saying.
I talked about that earlier.
You know it.
That's where I'm leaning. Candace Owens' perspective is literally where I'm going.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
thought Candace Owens was canceled. No?
No, man,
No,
no, she's back.
she's not canceled. She's back.
Her eyes are on the prize. Since we're going down this road, would you guys, I'm saying you guys because it's kind of specific to a community, but would you be upset if Candace Owens got, assassinated?
No.
I would be.
Whoa.
Wait. Hold on. I 100% would be upset if Candace Owens got assassinated. I don't care if you're right or left. You shouldn't get assassinated for the shit you say.
No,
So see, here's my thing. Here's my point, right?
Crazy speaking. Hold on, go ahead, Craig. Go ahead.
y'all gotta give it back to that month. That's fucked up.
So here's my point, right? I thought Black Lives Mattered. Because last time I checked, Candace Owens was a black woman, right?
Yep.
Didn't she deal with 400 years of slavery? Didn't her family members have to deal with Jim Crow and everybody else?
Yep.
Why all of a sudden is she exempt from the blackness?
Oh, we love her.
Because she speaks on things that could actually better the community if people actually chose to listen without their emotions. It is very simple, right? When she talks about crime and stuff like that, these are things that if we did decide to tackle them instead of just getting wrapped up in our emotions, that's how we can better ourselves. Now, of course, there's crime.
I agree with a lot of Candace's points. So did I agree with Charlie Kirk's points. So did I agree with a lot of conservatives' points. I don't understand the point that you're saying here. The thing is that when someone said, when I get upset if okay, my bad.
But go ahead. I know you.
I was just saying that if Candace Owens got assassinated, same way like Charlie Kirk, I'd be pretty pissed off. The same way if you put, some leftist retard, also debating on stage and he got assassinated, I'd be pissed off too.
Absolutely horrible. It would be
Yeah.
absolutely horrible.
Yeah, but here's the point. Candace Owens said the same things that Charlie Kirk said, and the black community hated her for it. Suddenly, I'm going in all these rooms on Clubhouse, and everybody's saying how wonderful Candace is. Yeah, what it is that black people hate Charlie Kirk, and they're finding a voice who also happens to be black, so it can justify their deep-seated feelings that they hate Charlie Kirk, and they're glad he's dead.
No,
That's
nothing.
what
I don't agree with that.
That makes no sense.
Because a lot of us don't like.
Is this hardcore style, man? Is this hardcore style, or is this Hey, Matt, is there a cue? Is there?
Yeah, we're doing a little bit of popcorn, but we should go in a little bit because it's getting a little bit wild. But Ray, since you decided to jump in, go ahead. Ray.
All right. So real quick, so with Alan and Ann, I'm gonna just hit some quick bullets and points, just real quick. So Alan and I see a lot of conservatives and people that are far right that keep regurgitating information that has not been verified. And mind you, both sides say a lot of shit that's not verified, like the Jews and doing this and all this other stuff. I think when you come to conclusions, you have to have viable information that's earned, and not just because there'll be both sides. Both sides like to say. Both sides like to say that, or you can't believe everything the media says, but whenever the media says something that you like to hear, right, or somebody from your particular party or group, like Owens, says something that you like, you automatically agree with them without fully evaluating what they have to say. So I'm just saying for overall, and you can respond. I just want to hit this point, and I'm going on mute. I'm gonna go on mute in a second. You can hit and you can come back at me whichever which way.
Okay, real quick, but let me just hit this point. Now, if people ask, acting as if like, if Candace Owens, if she gets assassinated, how would you like that? I mean, my thing is, I don't think you would want that because then that would prove everything that she's saying to be true. Now, I don't give a fuck about Candace Owens personally, so I don't give a fuck about her just like I don't give a fuck about Charlie Kirk personally. All right. But for someone to sit up here and say, oh well, how would you like if she got assassinated? Well, then that would just prove everything that's going on to be true. There's a lot of contriving and there's a lot of bullshit going on. I don't think you want that shit, honestly, for either side. So that's just what I would say. But overall, go ahead and respond to
Well,
me.
no, I wanted to know what I said. You said you and Alan. I don't know what I said. I didn't say anything or make any assumptions about anything. I don't think you're talking about me.
I don't think he wasn't singling you out, Ann. I don't think.
No, he said Ann.
No, I said Ann and Alan. I said Ann and Alan. And so, and mind you, I'm not, and it's not just you two. I'm just saying I heard. Okay, so no. Okay, I'll say that. Okay, I'm gonna repeat it real quick. So there's a lot of things that are being said as far as the guy being a hit by the leftists when there's nothing confirmed. Once again, I will repeat this one more time, just real quick, that when it comes to both sides of the left or the right, either side of the aisle, they like to they can choose what information they want to confirm without without confirming whether it's true or not.
I understand.
And whenever it's the mainstream media, if they say what you like to say, or an influence to say what you want to believe it without fact checking that
individual. I got your point.
So, okay, go ahead.
If you think that I'm that obtuse, then you're retarded. Okay. So everything that I'm saying is well thought out. Why did I say that he's a leftist? Here's why. So the FBI, the detectives that are working on his case, and his parents, okay, and his parents. So this young man, has actually never voted, okay, but his ideology leans more towards to being a leftist. He hates the right and everything that conservatives stand for. I mean, his ideology does lean to Democrat Party, which is fine. But he's good. But he was definitely anti-Constitution. He was anti-Trump. He was, anti-Jesus Christ. Anything that went against his own selfish, personal ways of how he wanted to live as furry. I don't know. So,
yeah, and let me just respond, Ray, first of all. Yes, there are lots of people who do what you said, granted. I'm not one of those, and I have been very careful to make my statements based on the evidence that law enforcement has brought out. That's the first thing. The second thing is, as just a general comment, Clubhouse is not a free speech vehicle. It is a curated space. We have mods and we have stage members. The mods are allowed to curate what people say. So if you're complaining that Ann isn't letting us talk about this free speech, oh, she's fine. No. We are not in a free speech place. It's the same if you go to hear somebody speak at give a lecture when you go to class. You can't just call out and start talking about the weather when the professor is talking about calculus. Same deal.
Exactly.
True.
Third, we got to get.
And last thing, specifically, Ray, I heard what you said, and what I need to say to you specifically is, I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you. Oh, so there. Deal with that fighting with you.
Alan, the key is here also to make sure is that we're not gonna kill you either over your opinion too. That's the big point. But
yes,
okay,
thank you for
that.
that.
We're doing a conversation here, which is I guess because a lot of people don't like out there in the real world. But go ahead, Bella, you're up.
So we're talking about Candace Owens. This Candace Owens of today.
What about Adolf Hitler?
Hold on.
About Charlie Kirk.
The Candace Owens of today Okay, I understand now, but I think we'll talk about Charlie Kirk.
Hold on. So the Candace Owens, oh man, I'm still getting spoken over. Interesting.
It's amazing.
Hey, stop speaking over him. Stop speaking over him.
Show some respect for this black man.
Yeah, Augustus, I think you and your wife have that disease. So, this Candace Owens of today is not the same Candace Owens that came up on the scene in 2016. That Candace Owens came like a bat out of hell, you know, in the black community of all these different things. She was also a my besting black women's group that said, okay, we need to marry white men. And black people didn't really gel with her. Fast forward, she starts working with conservative groups like Turning Point USA. She even works with just different conservative groups. Now, people call her an extremist because she left that form of conservatism. What is she focused on now? She's a part of those right-wing groups that want to divest. Hold on. Oh, look at him.
Hey, I'm not gonna say it again. Do not cut him off.
Oh, what are you gonna do about it? You strong
See, it's
man.
a free speech. I mean, the free speech is being shown on the microcosm and clubhouse,
Yes, it is.
as well as the macrocosm. White people don't want
I just wanna know
other
why
people to land their ideas.
Oh, there's land already.
So, now they call her an extremist conservative. Why? Because she wants to divest from Israel. So I think she peeked behind the veil, right? She saw what was really going on, and that's why people are aligning with her, because there are a lot of Americans that want to divest from Israel. Okay, but they're too scared to say it.
That may be true, but Candace Owens.
It's a Jew!
And the Republicans,
Kick him out. That's a troll.
The Republicans, especially the MAGA Republicans, have bent the knee to Israel, right? But there are some right wingers and some Republicans that don't want to be complicit in Netanyahu's crimes. So that's why we're gelling with Candace Owens right now, because she fixed her vision.
And we know she's married to a Jew, right? She's married to
She
a
works
Jew.
for Jews.
She's not married to a Jew.
She's married to a British aristocrat.
Yeah, he's not married to a Jew.
They
She's
just
not married to a
lying.
Jew.
They lying in here. We know what's
We're
going
all
on.
Jewish.
I think what's going on is
We know what's going on.
Can everybody stop
Candace Owens is married to a man from a long line of
We know what's going on.
great white
See
men.
it clearly.
Can we talk about time?
Did you hear what I said about curated spaces, Otello? Please stop your free speech crying just because you get cut off. And I think in conservative rooms have given you a wide latitude to speak.
Well,
So
thank you, Alan.
if you're gonna cry, go cry.
I'm glad that
As far as the divesting rooms, I used to go in those rooms
I bet you did.
when
I bet you
Clubhouse
was looking for a black man.
because I was as a white man, they loved me.
Oh, I bet.
But I will just say, at the beginning of Clubhouse, black men used to kill black women once every 7 hours in the United States, and now it's once every 5 hours. So black men got really busy with black women, and they're just killing them faster and faster.
Okay, well, let me see those
So
statistics.
maybe that's a topic for another one.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Hey, can I put my mark on something? I gotta say something.
So
what
Candace
this
Owens
is
is
with
focused on
Candace
Israel.
Owens
Everyone
is
says
my
Israel is Israel. That's
Can we talk?
Alright,
Let's talk one at a time.
Can nobody hear me, or what's going on around here? But
yeah, sorry.
it's alright, Alan. It's all good. Now, I want you. Are you gonna land, or what's going on here? Well, I mean, look at it. They're trying to dog about me. But Alan does get a good point. I'll tell you this in like other rooms that have the opposite view like this. So, just want to make that a note. But go ahead, get 30 seconds, and then we'll go.
Yeah, can I, me, please?
Yes. Well, Adele's gonna wrap it up, I think, right? Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up, and I'm gonna segue to the beautiful Harriet Doug. Again, Candace Owens, she peeked beyond the veil. She